Hello, everyone. Um, Today we're going to look at another game by Garry Kasparov, and this will be a very exciting one. Kasparov, as we mentioned, was the master of dynamic chess, creating positions where pieces um are very active. Maybe sacrificing a pawn, maybe even two pawns, but creating a lot of possibilities. And the game will look at he played against one of the best players to ever come from Romania, Florin Gheorghiu. Um, Kasparov with the white pieces. We have d4 knight f6, c4 e6, knight f3, and we have the queens in the defense. Pawn b6. Kasparov plays one of the main moves, knight c3, and black, of course, puts the bishop on b7. This is a very, very good bishop. And now Kasparov plays a move which at first looks unusual. He plays a3. A3 has several points. It stops the bishop from coming here, which makes it easier for white to eventually fight over the center. And it also tries to see what black is going to do. And black challenges the center right away with pawn c5. Makes perfect sense. The bishop is not blocked. It will be able to come out. And Kasparov decides to take. And now black has a big, big decision. He does not want to take with the bishop. The reason he doesn't want to take with the bishop is then this bishop will get traded. And then there will be a hole over here. And black will have spent several moves pretty much for nothing. So that means he has a choice between pawn takes and knight takes. And as you can see, both moves were played quite frequently. Knight takes is more common. The point of knight takes is the bishop still plays chess. Pawn takes, of course, gives black more central control, but the downside, of course, is it blocks the bishop. And so black decides to play knight d5. Now we would love to play e4, but of course e4 right now is impossible because basic forcing moves black will just take, and then he'll end up taking over here. So of course we don't play e4. Queen c2 first, because now we can play e4. Okay. Black needs to do something, and the move he comes up with challenges the center immediately. When your opponent has a center, it's useful to fight for it. So pawn c5, challenging the center, e4 by Kasparov, which was expected. Well, black can retreat or black can take, so Gheorghiu decides to take. Of course, we take with the pawn. Queen is busy protecting this pawn, and white has a nice center. But black doesn't mind. He's challenging the center. His bishop is good. And he traded one of his pieces, which means that this knight and this bishop should probably be able to find something to do. And black decides to try to castle immediately. But Kasparov plays an interesting move here. He plays bishop b5 check. At first, the question is why are you checking? Well, black has several things he can do here. Knight c6, well, this knight is not so stable, and we can put pressure on it with maybe bringing the queen, maybe bringing the pawn, maybe bringing the knight. So that's not so great. 97 is not terrible, but again, the knight is a little bit passive. So black plays bishop c6, which seems to make perfect sense. Just asking the bishop immediately if he wants to trade. If it does, of course, black knight will just come into the game. So Kasparov drops the bishop back to c3. So the question is, why did he do this in the first place and drop? says, well, your bishop is not as good here as he was on b7. You're taking away the knight square, and sometimes this bishop could become a potential target. Sometimes in chess there are these moves which you play where you provoke your opponent into doing something, which is what Kasparov did here. Okay, black continues his development. Knight d7, Kasparov castle. Black plays h6. He wants to castle, but he's a little bit concerned about what's going on over here. But h6 was probably not entirely necessary. And Kasparov plays rook d1. So what's the point? Well, the rook is a lot more active here. This line might potentially open up. There is a queen on the other side. In general, it's a good idea to put your rook on the same line as the queen, even when there is something in between, especially if there is a potential for the lines to become open. And here black should probably castle, but black plays queen c7. And the thing with queen c7, it looks like a natural move. He's a little bit concerned about this rook. He improves the queen. But the problem is this king is in the middle. And Kasparov takes this opportunity and pounces. He plays d5. d5 is a free pawn. Black is attacking twice, but what is Kasparov doing? Well, he is opening up the position, trying to take advantage of this king still being in the middle. So d5. Okay, black wins the pawn. Takes. He's up a pawn. He's one move away from castling. It looks like he can also open up our king, but bishop b5. That's why we open up lines, because now all of a sudden, this is getting scary. If he takes our knight, we can throw this in first, and then take back. Remember, just because someone takes us, doesn't mean we have to take right back. We have an in-between move, bishop takes b5. Sorry, bishop from b5 takes on d7. So that's a problem for black, but his bishop is attacked, which means he does not have time to castle. He needs to respond. Now, in the game, Gheorghiu plays an interesting move. He wants to simplify the position, so he plays a6. He says, well, if you take me, I take you. If you trade, I take by with a queen, and I have one last piece on the board. So the position is less complicated. Remember, when you are up, you want the position usually to be simple. So black just would like to simplify. He would like to trade. Would like to go to the end game where he's up a pawn, and he'll try to win. So it looks at first that white can actually take, because takes, and it looks like there is a pin. But here black has a very nice move, actually. I'm going to pause and let you find it. And the move is bishop e4, which is a discovery, attacking this and this. So if rook takes, bishop takes queen, and black is still up a pawn. And of course, white cannot take here because this is a check. And so black would save himself. And this is what Gheorghiu was hoping for. That there would be a trade, and Gheorghiu was pretty good at tactics, so he was counting on bishop e4, saving him. But here, this is why Kasparov was considered to be at the time, the best player of all time. Right now, again, some people believe that Magnus is now ahead of Kasparov in the race, but Kasparov is certainly in the top two. And Kasparov plays a beautiful, beautiful move, bishop f4. bishop f4, attacking the queen. That's a free bishop. But what's the point? Well, the queen is defending the knight. And again, notice Kasparov is creating problems on every move, which means black does not have time to castle. So what's happening? Well, let's see why he sacrificed. So takes. Kasparov trades. And takes. Now, we're still down a pawn, but this means now this king is not going anywhere. King c7. And now white has a long-term advantage. The advantage is his king is much more safer than the black king. So now he will still continue to create problems on every move, because if he does not, black will try to trade rooks and he should be okay. So let's watch how Kasparov does this. First, he brings in his last piece into the game with tempo, attacking the bishop. So the bishop saves itself. Bishop d6. Okay. Another tempo move, rook f5, attacking the queen and the pawn. Queen c4, black defense. So far, so good. And now another tempo move. Notice every move we create problems. Black does not have a chance to bring in his rook. Okay, the queen moves, and now of course the pawn drops. Rook takes pawn. Now material is even. King b8, and now yet another tempo move, rook e6, hitting this bishop. Okay, black defends. Finally, he brings in his rook. And now yet another tempo move, pawn c4, attacking the queen. Queen moves. Now I'm going to pause, and I will let you find yet another tempo move. And here we can play knight e5, taking advantage of the spin. All the white pieces are coming closer and closer to the black king. Again, for the past about 12 moves, black kept responding to white's threats. He has not done anything of his own. And this is important in chess. Initiative, being control, is very, very important. White is in complete control. The queen is attacked. It needs to move. Queen c8. And now one last tempo move by white. Queen b1. Hitting the pawn. And the question is, how does black deal with this? Well, the pawn is attacked. If he tries to defend with the bishop, well, we don't care because we are attacking with all our pieces. We can take anywhere. Because if he takes, this is game over because we double attack this square. So if he does this, this is just checkmate. And if he moves, well, that's why we use all our pieces. Knight c6 is checkmate. So the big lesson from this game is the importance of initiative. You want to be in control. You want to try to improve your position while creating problems for your opponent. And sometimes if you need to sacrifice, let's say, a pawn to accomplish something like that, well, so be it. And second, if your opponent's king is in the middle, sometimes, again, sacrificing a pawn to open up the middle could be a really good idea. I hope you enjoyed this game. Please like, please subscribe, please comment. I'll be back soon. Thank you.